I'm Tim and this is Paws on Point. Enjoy the episode and don't forget to like, subscribe, share and leave a comment after.
Hi. Are you okay?
The fake service dog. What does that mean to you? What does that term mean to you? Fake service dog. Yeah, I'm asking you, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? Does that just mean someone who's just trying to get away with putting a jacket on a dog and saying their dog's a service dog? Or does it have a far deeper meaning than that? It's a bit of a hot topic. It's becoming a bit of a craze, unfortunately. And I don't think that some people realise how damaging it is to the service dog industry. Yeah, it's damaging. It's damaging because all the work that's been put in by all the trainers, all the handlers, all the teams to prove that their dog is a service dog. It's now becoming harder and harder, especially in certain sectors, in certain industries. Airlines being one of them, is becoming harder and harder. And it's all because untrained dogs that are wearing jackets that are brought online, put on a dog, and the individual's like, oh yeah, my dog's a service dog. They know that people aren't allowed to ask them why, so they take advantage of that just because they want to take the dog with them. And I get that to a certain degree. They want their dog to be with them, but it's when it's not well trained and it's obvious. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the people that have gone on a hard journey training their dog. They've made a financial commitment in training that dog, and it's taken them over a year to train that dog. But because of people imitating service dogs, just because they want the dog with them, it's now becoming harder. And that's not fair. That's not fair. That shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. It isn't allowed. But it still happens. So what are your thoughts on it? Do you think there should be a heavier penalty? Do you think there should be a law? A much more harsher law if found imitating a service dog? I personally think there should be. I think if you're found or caught to be imitating a service dog, I think there should be a harsh penalty for it. Why not? You don't imitate police officers. I mean, some people do, but that's up to them. There's a price attached to that. You get caught, you do get into trouble for it. So why can't it be the same? It's not fair to have someone try to board a plane or try to book a flight even and have to justify why their medical aid is with them. I mean, out of curiosity, do we say to people, okay, that's great, you've got your wheelchair, but why? Can you prove to me that you can't walk? No, of course we don't. We don't do that. Why have you got your crutches with you? Can you prove to me you can walk without them, or you can't walk without them? No, we don't. We don't do none of that. So what's the difference? Why do we do that with? Why is that being allowed to happen? It's being allowed to happen because of the whole fake service dog. I understand that some people may not realise that they're actually damaging an industry. They're damaging the service dog community, but they are. I mean, if you're that reliant on your dog, if you are that reliant on your dog, or your dog gives you that much support, then do it officially. Now, I know that there's people going to be hearing this going, oh yeah, but I can't afford it. Find a way. Don't cut corners. I've met people that are in a real bad financial situation, but they've still found a way. They've still found a way to get that training done, knowing that it's expensive. And it's not really expensive once you break it all down, once you look at what you're actually getting. You're getting a dog trained to be highly skilled in supporting you. A highly skilled trainer. So it's not expensive. But if you can't go somewhere without your dog being with you, then you either need an emotional support animal, or emotional support dog, or you need a service dog. Remember, there's an episode of the difference between the two. So if you're at that point where you can't be anywhere without your dog, You need to distinguish which one you need and then follow through with that. Don't just buy a jacket online. It's insulting. It's insulting to teams. It's insulting to trainers. It's degrading. It's not fair. Like I said, you may not be aware that you're actually doing it, but you are. So I'm going to put the question out to you again. How does it make you feel if you have a service dog? How does it make you feel knowing about the fake service dogs? I bet you people are listening to this. I bet people have listened to this. And I bet they can put their hand up in the air and say, yeah, I've seen one. I've seen one. It's way more common than people think it is. This subject alone is becoming quite a hot topic. I believe, as a community, the service dog community, and some other associations should all band together. We need to create a movement to make a change. And that's what Pawsabilities is here for. We'll happily start that movement. We just got to have all of you on board. So spread the word. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. Rather than standing there pointing and going, that's not right. Rather than allowing the rules to get tighter and tighter and tighter. Let's all band together. Let's come together. Let's come up with a solution. Maybe the vests should only be available from certain training schools or certain trainers. Now, there's a bit of a double whammy in that. You could have it so that it's trainers that are certified to train service dogs. They're the only ones that are allowed to sell it. Not online, nothing like that. The only people you can buy it from are certain people or the suppliers themselves. And if you're buying one, you have to prove that you're buying it for a service animal. That's one avenue. You could do that, and you could introduce a new law. Like in BC, you have the official BC guidance service dog assessment. If your dog does that, you get your nice little card. Proof of that. Proof that your dog has been trained. Proof that your dog is a service dog. That's number 2. It becomes harder to fake once these things are introduced. Think about it. Then you have the penalty law. If you're found imitating a service dog, then there's a heavy fine. Again, it gets harder. I also think there needs to be a lot more education on the distinction between an emotional support animal and a service dog and a therapy dog. I think that needs to be spread very far and wide. Now, within the service dog community, everyone knows, a very large percentage of people know the difference. And it's the previous episode. If you haven't listened to it, jump back and listen to it after you've listened to this one, obviously. If everyone knows the difference, if you have the laws in place, if you have the penalties in place, it will reduce. If you make those jackets less accessible, it becomes harder. And like I said, there may be some people that really genuinely don't think they're doing any harm. But here's the news flash. I said it just now, I'm going to say it again. It's doing a lot of harm. And it's confusing a situation that doesn't need to be confused. So I want to hear your opinions. Write me an email. Pawsabilitiesservicedogs.ca, or leave a comment underneath this episode. Reach out to us on Facebook, on Instagram. I want to hear your comments. I want to know how it makes you feel. I want to hear your suggestions. This needs to stop. It has to stop. I was going to say before it gets out of control, but I think, it's kind of safe to say that is happening. I have spoken to people asking about getting their service dog trained as a service dog. And when I whittle through it, when I'm talking to them, turns out they don't actually need a service dog. They just want to take their dog on holiday with them. Yeah, no, that's not what the service dog status is there for. Again, if you don't know what a service dog does, listen to some previous episodes on this podcast. It's all there. It's all there. Everything is there. We all want to take our dogs on holiday. sometimes we can't. Now, if you've not factored that into your equation of owning a dog, that's bad. Owning a dog is a responsibility. And within that responsibility, that means you're thinking about the dog. Putting a jacket on it and saying it's your service dog, that's a quick fix. That's a quick fix for human error. Now, I'm sorry, I know this particular podcast is probably going to upset a few people. Good. Yeah, I've said it. Good. It's upset a few people. I'm not going to apologise for that. The service dog community deserves better than that. Pawsabilities is here to advocate. So this is me advocating. Let's stop the insult. Let's stop the degrading of a service dog and what it does. Service dogs are game changers. They're lifesavers. They're a ray of light in a dark room. Don't take that away from them. That's not fair. No, I'm not saying that it should be an easy ride for service dogs. No, I'm not saying that. Should they prove that the dog has done training? Yes, they have. Yeah, that's only fair. You're going to make a claim, you prove your training. That's logical. I think if you're going to make that comment, if you're going to make that claim that your dog is a service dog, then you prove it. Prove it, because if it's legitimate, then you'll have documentation saying it in one way or another. You could argue that there's too much available online. Training of a service dog in 2 weeks. That raises a lot of alarm bells. There we go. I've probably upset a few more people. Training a service dog in 2 weeks. Impossible. Cannot be done. Unrealistic. That's got one thing written all over it. Grab the money and disappear. That is all that is. Now, the information and the knowledge might be right, but the instruction on that information, the deliverance of that information, you cannot give someone a textbook and say, there, you can turn your dog into a service dog in 2 weeks. No. Absolutely not. I understand that people cannot always afford. I really do. That's another reason why Pawsabilities is here. Through sponsorship and donation, the money we raise helps go towards paying for a service dog for someone who needs a service dog. Not wants, needs. I'm kind of lost for words. I am and I'm not. Now, I could go on all day about this. It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind that people believe that they can put a jacket on a dog, and in particular board a plane for 4 to 5 hours with a dog that has not been trained, not experienced. Think of the people around you that's got to listen to your dog getting stressed. You're stuck on a plane, 38,000 feet in the air. Now, the other side to that, the most important part of that, is the stress that dog is under. The stress can be so immense that the damage done to that dog is unbelievable. And just because you can't see the damage doesn't mean it's happening. You could stress that dog so much that you could do something internally to that dog. You could be putting that dog through so much trauma that psychologically that dog could snap. Again, not fair. And in my opinion, that's abuse. It might not be direct, but it's abusive. To know you're going to put your dog through that and not do anything. To think it's going to be okay. To think that the jacket it's going to save your dog. He won't be. He'll be calm with me. I bet he won't. Inexperienced. Never been in that environment before. Lots of noise, lots of clanging, lots of banging, lots of people talking. The takeoff, the landing. You can't tell me that a dog who's never been trained around that is just going to sit there and go, meh, okay, I got this. Imagine what that would do. just have a little think about what that could do to the dog. It's serious stuff. I mean, we could dig real deep into this. And I mean, we're only just skimming the surface on this topic. Now, I broach this subject not to finger point. And I know it might seem like that, but it's not. It's not to finger point. Not at all. It is to raise awareness of the seriousness of the impact of what the fake service dog does. So I'm going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Trupanion, Helmut Vets, and Narlabone. Thank you so much for all your support over these years. So until next time, see you later.
Hi. You okay?